Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Crypto Hipster Podcast. This is your host, Jamil Hassan, the Crypto Hipster, where I bring you entrepreneurs, founders, executives, thought leaders, artists, you name it, across the world of crypto and blockchain globally. And I have an amazing guest. I always end up having amazing guests on my show. I have another amazing guest for you. He is the Senior BD Business Developer at Galxe. His name is Jacob Margulies. Jacob, welcome to the show today.
Thank you so much for having me. What a pleasure to be here with you.
Pleasure's mine. Thank you for joining me. So I want to kick things off and ask you the first question what is your background, and is it a logical background for what you're doing now?
I definitely wouldn't say it's a logical background, but my background, I actually majored in sport management in college. Definitely not what I'm doing now. I graduated, transitioned into ad sales, and then to tech sales at a few restaurant tech startups. And yeah, I kind of picked up blockchain. Crypto was a hobby. Opened my first MetaMask wallet a few years ago. And yeah, I ended up leaving those tech sales, my last tech sale job in the restaurant tech industry, just because I wanted to work in blockchain, crypto, explore those types of opportunities. So I took a risk. I didn't have a job for the time being, but it was what I wanted to do, and it worked out well. And I joined Republic, which is they do a bunch of different things: token sales, advisory, venture capital, retail crowdfunding. I joined the retail crowdfunding division because I wanted to ultimately transition to the blockchain crypto side of Republic, and the retail crowdfunding side actually gave me exposures to really working with blockchain startups that were looking to raise through retail crowdfunding. It was very interesting because I didn't know anything about retail crowdfunding until I joined. So it gave me a good background, a good understanding of the fundraising process now, which I think has helped me in my role. And yeah, I ended up at Galxe. I never, it was kind of just happened. I was introduced to my co-founder Charles, and yeah, it was a risk that I ended up taking around 2 years ago at this time, and yeah, now I'm here, and it's been super fun. We've done a lot of amazing things. Worked with over 4,300 Web3 brands. We've had over 14 million unique users. So yeah, I joined about a year in, and I'm almost 2 years at Galxe now, and what a fabulous ride it's been.
I looked at your Twitter page and some of the things that you're up to, and it looks like you're up to some really awesome things. So I want to find out first, what's Galxe all about, and what makes you unique in the space right now?
I would say Galxe is all about, helping Web3 brands build their community and drive, protocol growth. I think one of the hardest things in blockchain is for these brands to, really engage with a global audience of users, get traction. And what we do, we give these, brands the resources, the tools, and a platform to engage with a global audience of users and really manage and reward their community members. We help them identify loyalty, those valuable contributors that they can, identify to reward in any way that they may be looking to reward them. We give them the tools to, build out their own loyalty program on chain through loyalty points, NFT badges, and a few other different reward mechanics as well. And I think the really, really neat thing about it is, as much as we're going to talk about Galxe being a growth platform, the largest questing platform in the space, the largest identity platform in the space for users, we are also the largest discover to earn protocol, where we have 14 million unique users that are looking to explore blockchain's best, most spectacular applications. And so far, yeah, we've done a really good job at that, allowing these users to build out that digital identity and allowing these Web3 brands to connect with these millions of users to build that loyalty program, build their own Web3 CRM, and see some really, really great growth.
You said a unique term there. I've interviewed some gaming companies, and they talked about play to earn, right? You just said discover to earn. What is that?
It's actually a term that I came up with myself a little while ago, but it's more so there's so many, applications in blockchain. And like I said, we give these brands the platform to kind of showcase what they're doing. And these users, they can come to the Galxe homepage, and there's a bunch of different things that they can see. The homepage carousel, the Galxe selects, the trending campaigns, the token reward campaigns. And we want to showcase all these different applications in all these different spaces, whether it's DeFi, NFT, GameFi. So as a user, I can see, okay, well, I have application A, B, and C. I'm going to pick and choose what I want to engage in, the loyalty program that I want to join, and I'm going to discover all these different amazing things about these applications that I may not have known. And it's nice because as an application, you can take the user through the journey that you are looking to take them through, whether it's educational. You want to educate them about what you're doing. You want to onboard them. You want to, show them the social activity or let them engage on Twitter, Discord, and Telegram. Or you want to actually have them take activity within your protocol. And maybe the activity, it starts at the beginner level, and then it goes to an intermediate level and an advanced level. And we'll help you identify those users that are beginner, intermediate, and advanced, and then always, re-engage with them through these different credentials and data touch points. So yeah, discover to earn, being able to see amazing blockchain applications within the space.
I think you're the only one doing this right now. They say that blockchain doesn't have a use case, but you just showed that they do for the use case for the user. But you're proving that there is.
Absolutely. Really, the neat thing about it is, I'll kind of touch on the Galxe ID and these oaths. As a user, you're discovering, you're earning, and you're collecting these credentials. You're collecting these NFTs. You're collecting these oaths. And now you have something authentic and verifiable that can say, hey, I did A, B, and C. I traded over $100,000 in volume on that specific DEX. I've been a user of this protocol for 5 days, 100 days, 1 year straight. I hold 10 NFTs, and now you can really, show anybody, whether, say, for example, you're interviewing for a job, I can say, hi, I collected 5 votes, 5 NFTs. I had credential A, B, and C. I've, never been liquidated in DeFi. And it's all verifiable. It's on chain. It's ultimately your on chain resume. So I think that's a really, really cool part about it.
Awesome. So we're going to get a couple of things you just said there. First, I want to get into is there was an announcement last month in December. Forbes Web3 launched on Galxe last month. How's that gone so far, and what's been some of the impact or effect that you've seen overall from not just that partnership, but some of the other partnerships you have?
Yeah, definitely. The Forbes Web3 partnership, that was a long time coming. I think we started discussing that back in the early summer. So it's definitely rewarding to see it come to fruition, and to see the success that they're having. Really, the main purpose that they wanted to use Galxe for was to, one, build up their social presence. They just released a new Twitter, so they wanted to get more of a Twitter following, amplify what they're doing ahead of some of the bigger initiatives that they're doing. So they've actually been running campaigns weekly. They have a few different campaign collections, one being the Monday memo. And it's very neat because they're targeting, all types of users. And then they have campaigns that are targeting, users that are more niche and more targeted, such as higher level users, users that have, higher engagement on Twitter, users that have completed more Galxe campaigns. And they're able to identify those users through something called a Galxe score, where users, they mint this score. They mint an NFT, it's soulbound, and we give them a score, an on-chain score, based off a few different factors, one being your humanness score, your fame, your asset score, and your experience. And they use these different levels, and we'll give them recommendations. Level 1 equals this, level 2 equals that. And basically, users that have minted this score, and if they reach that certain level, they can come engage in these campaigns, claim oaths, claim loyalty points. So it's a long-term loyalty program. And it's something, we're very excited about. The Forbes team has been really, really spectacular, and they've been very good to give us some strong PR, coverage and some branding. So we're grateful for the partnership. And yeah, we think we've, demonstrated, that we're able to really drive strong activity to what they're looking to do on Twitter.
It was human factor, fame, and were the two others?
Yeah, humanness, fame, asset score, and then experience. So experience is how many Galxe campaigns you've completed, how long you've been connected to Galxe for, meaning your wallet. Your asset score is, what are you holding on chain in terms of asset, and how much of it are you holding? The fame score, we do, we scrape Twitter. And that's how we're getting the data. And it's basically who's engaging with your posts, how many people you're following, how many people are following you. And then the human to score is whether you have a Galaxy passport or a Gitcoin passport. And then we use a few other third-party services to help us determine these specific rankings that have some sort of AI technology that analyze activity that's happened on-chain for that specific wallet address. So it's quite neat. We rolled it out in, I would say, the fall, and we have close to 90,000 minted so far. So we're super pumped about it.
I'm going to get into that a little bit, a little bit further.
You should. You definitely should.
I am. First, I want to do it at a high level. I want to talk about the benefits of building a web community for content creators, gig workers, or anyone, even corporates, right? Forbes, in the attention economy.
Absolutely. I think it's always important. It's great to have a community. It's great to have strong engagement. It's great to have a good following, but don't you think it's important to understand who those users are, to identify your most active, loyal supporters? Because with Galxe, what you can do is you have, you run a few campaigns. You want to maybe identify a user that is engaging with each and every one of your posts, that is attending each and every one of your Twitter spaces, that is actively communicating in Discord. So with Galxe, we give you the tools to, identify the users that are most active, that are doing the most. Maybe you're the user that is, participated in 9 out of 10 of your campaigns, 8 out of 10 of your campaigns. It's important to reward them for their contributions, because the idea is you want to incentivize them to keep coming back and rewarding them, for, their contribution to whatever you may be doing. So being able to identify all these types of users and then go back and re-engage with them for whatever it may be. Maybe you're looking to amplify something new. Maybe it's a new product you're launching, and and you're confident that this person X, is going to come and engage with you. And then you can figure out a nice reward for them. So that's really the idea behind it. Identifying your most loyal, active users.
Sounds good. So you said you came in the crypto. What year did you come in? Because you talked about retail crowdfunding.
I would say 2021, I made my first MetaMask wallet, probably bought my first NFT that month. And then, 21, in November, I joined Republic. I did, yeah.
Great. So I asked because I came in 2017, and the first thing I joined was a reward loyalty program crypto project. Most projects in 2017 failed, including that one. But what do you see as the ideal for these reward-based loyalty programs in the decentralized economy for non-brands, or for smaller brands, who are competing with the big names who have these massive followings?
Yeah, I think the truth is, incentives drive all human behavior. Obviously, these bigger brands have an easier time at attracting users, running these sorts of giveaways and campaigns. But for the smaller brand, it kind of goes back to being identify those little users. It's kind of being able to build out that Web3 CRM. And I think I kind of want to speak on credentials a little bit. Galxe, we call ourselves a credential data network, where for each and every action, you're creating a credential. And what a credential really means is, for example, follow Twitter. That's a credential. Swap X for Y. That's a credential. A user that has traded over $10,000 in volume on a specific DEX in a quarter. That's a credential. So having these sorts of credentials is really important to understanding your audience, your user base. It's no different than any other regular business where they have their own CRM of all these different profiles of their different clients, who they're speaking to, when they spoke to somebody, how much they've purchased, how long they've been a customer. I think the importance of it is really credentials, having these different data touch points of all this different activity that someone has done. And it's just as important for the user, where they can have credential A, B, and C. It goes onto their on-chain resume, their digital profile. It's fully verifiable. It's fully authentic. And it's neat where they can say, hey, I've actually done X, Y, Z.
Smart. That's very smart.
Yeah, we're having fun with it.
Awesome. So you said on your website and on your Twitter, you said that you guys record people's helps people record their life achievements, and that's a very important thing, right?
Yes.
So, how does your OAT help, and then why is it important to record your life's achievements? And then can you go back to before your platform was created and start, talking about your achievements on there and have them be recorded? And like, what's that landscape look like?
So we like to call the O a digital badge. Basically, it's a circular image, and the really, really unique thing about it is it's fully gasless. So you can follow somebody on Twitter, you can do something on chain, and basically you can claim it in a gasless manner. You don't need gas, and it can goes right onto your resume. Um, so I think that's the really exciting thing about it. And any project can deploy it very easily, one click. Um, so the idea as a user, you can keep collecting these life achievements, and what it could be something that you want to prove to somebody, or it could be solely just a digital collectible. Maybe you're a collector and you really enjoy collecting these different oats, these different badges, from these different projects. That's certainly fine, and they're all available on these secondary marketplaces. Whether you want to trade them, you don't want to trade them. So there's certainly a collector's item as much as there is something that can prove authenticity. And can you remind me of the second part of the question, please?
Yeah. Why is it important for people to have that record of digital achievement, in their life, and why is that why is that
Yeah.
important?
Well, I like to think of it as it's similar to LinkedIn. Everybody loves LinkedIn. It's a great, place to network. It's a great place to have any sort of, dialogue, whatever it may be. And everybody has their own profile, and people are endorsing each other. They say, "Hey, I've done XYZ, I've done ABC." So oats are really the same thing. It's no different. It's just on chain and it's fully digital, but it really proves, what you've done in the past. And it's fully authentic because you can see, oh, well, this person claimed it. They claimed it on chain during this time. So it's really, I guess, Web3's version of LinkedIn of all of your life's achievements. And maybe it could be, your work's achievements, your DeFi achievements. So I like to kind of, compare it to LinkedIn, but more in a decentralized digital manner.
So what are the benefits? What would be additional benefits of a Web3 LinkedIn?
Really, the digital benefits, I would say the authenticity. Anybody could kind of put what they want on LinkedIn, whether it's true or not. But with the Web3, it's all verifiable. You can verify whether somebody actually did something. You can see whether this person actually claimed it. So I think it's the verification, it's the authenticity piece. Whereas LinkedIn, I guess it can be kind of a free for all.
I ask because I don't remember what year it was, 2018, 19. I used to try to use LinkedIn to build my business. And what happened was I got an email one day from LinkedIn saying, "Oh, no one ever responded to my messages. Oh, some of your messages didn't get responded to." I thought it was like 5, 6. They sent me a spreadsheet of 3,000 messages I had sent that they never went through the recipient. I thought it was me. Something like that could never happen on the Web3 or on the blockchain, right?
Absolutely. You have it right for sure.
Yeah. So I see that as a big, big benefit. So I want to find out the current and the future landscape of reputation scoring, right? Mentioned it earlier before. It seems like some of the influencers, like with the worst reputations, also have the biggest audiences, you know?
Mhm.
So how, like right now, they don't seem congruent. So how do you align them, and what should that enable if you did align them?
Yeah, I think reputation scoring, it's more valuable. I understand what you're saying. I think reputation scoring is more valuable for the user, where it still becomes a part of their identity. And as a project or any Web3 brand, I can use somebody's reputation score to really engage with that perfect user, whether it's somebody who has a very high DeFi score, has a very strong, social following, maybe that has a very high experience score on Galxe. I think really one of the hardest things in crypto is that everybody has a wallet address, but the most challenging part is who is behind that wallet address. There's all these letters and numbers, and you really don't know who that person is. But with the reputation score, you can actually peel back the curtain a little bit more and understand a bit more about that specific user, what they like, what they do, what they don't like, what they're very good at, and then use that information to kind of target them and, engage with them within your campaigns and offer them certain services or certain products or work with that specific user. So I think the reputation score is very valuable for the user because it allows these products to identify what exactly they want, what exactly they're looking for, and they can find out more about who that person and individual is behind all those letters and numbers in a wallet address. So, and that's what we're looking to do with, our Galxe Web3 score. We're helping projects identify users that they can engage with, and we're helping users, flex, show up, build out that identity, show this is what I'm made of, this is what I've done, accomplish and achieve. So I think from the user side, it's very, very valuable. And, the difficult part is, like I said, it's, who is this person behind, all these 0x, letters, numbers, and a wallet address.
And who are the person who are, and yeah, so I'm just thinking of Twitter, right? Or X or whatever. You have a lot of people who are anonymous. Like, I'm fully doxxed. I've been fully doxxed for years. There are a lot of people who claim to be somebody and they're not doxxed at all.
Yep.
But a lot of people are placing them on a pedestal like they're an expert, and like they're not even telling you who they are. So how do you break down that barrier of, okay, a user who wants to, be recognized following somebody who's not doxxed or is anonymous? Where do you fit in to be able to break down and dissolve those barriers?
Yeah, I think it's okay to be anonymous, but we want to give you the tools to understand more about who that user is and what they're doing. So you have as much information as possible to, engage with the right user to make the appropriate decision on your end. So what I will speak to right now is what we're doing right now. It's kind of been flying under the radar a little bit, but this product will be going mainnet soon. It's called a Galxe protocol. Galxe protocol is going to be built on top of Galxe. And the really neat thing about it is it's a verifiable credential protocol. Now, as a user, I can own, manage my data in a secure, private way. And as a user, if a project says, hey, I want to see if this user is from this jurisdiction, has done X or Y, now as a user, I can say, okay, well, I am going to share this information. I have these specific credentials, and I don't want them to know my name or whether I'm from. I just want them to know whether I actually am from this state and I have done this. And I can share this data, with ZK proofs. That's going to come back whether it's true or false. So I own my data, I manage it in a secure, private way, and the person who is requesting this data, they're going to know whether it's true or false. And they may not know my name exactly, but they can know that I'm real, authentic, and what they're looking for is fully verifiable. So that's Galxe protocol. That's the idea behind it: a self-sovereign, privacy-preserving protocol where anybody can curate credentials and anybody can share data in that privacy-preserving way, leveraging these ZK proofs. That's on the horizon. It's upcoming, but I really think it's going to be, spectacular for our users and all these Web3 brands that are working and already curating credentials. The Galxe.
Okay, that answers part of my next question. I was going to ask you, how does your SDK toolkit play a role in data privacy? But the second part of that is, a lot of people still don't understand. They're used to Web 2, they're used to Facebook, they're used to Instagram, they're used to these where the data's not private, right? Why should people embrace? Why should users embrace data privacy as an asset in their lives, and what needs to shift for them to start seeing it that way?
Yeah, I think I'll use this example. You have, the big tech, Facebook, Amazon, and they fully own this data and they fully monetize off this data. So as a user, you go to Facebook or you go to Amazon and you search something, and then, the next time you come back to Amazon, you have all these recommendations. Basically, they're monetizing off that data and they're owning that data, and they're saying, okay, well, based off your prior search history, this may be a good fit. You should look at this company. You should check this out. And there's no reason really why they should own that data. It's just kind of how things have always been. But I think people don't understand, the type, all the data that, these companies are collecting. They're really collecting as much as possible. Every little thing that they can collect, they're going to collect. And, in Web3, and what we're looking to do is allow these, users to monetize off their own data. They'll own their own data to share only what they are comfortable sharing in a privacy preserving way if they do choose to share that. So I think a lot of people just don't realize kind of, what we're, or at least more so like the Web2 people. They don't, I feel like there hasn't been that alternative, and, maybe there needs to be more noise or more amplification or awareness around it. But, people, it's hard for people to stop using Amazon or Facebook just because they're collecting data, and there really hasn't been a good alternative to those yet. And I think circling back to the SDK question, we do have an SDK, and users, we have over 3 million Discord handles connected to the Galxe, 3 million Twitter handles connected to the Galxe, and millions of email addresses connected to the Galxe, because we also verify Twitter, Discord, and email. And we do have projects that integrate our SDK. And as a user, some of these projects request these email addresses or Discord handles or Twitter handles. But as a user, they have, the ability to share it whether or not they want, because they are in full control of their data and their privacy. So that is how, one mechanic of the SDK works, but fully privacy preserving. And if they're, if they'd like to share it, they certainly can.
Yeah, so privacy gets a bad rep, right? So
yeah,
I want to ask about something that I didn't think I was going to ask about today. We have a presidential campaign going on right now, right? And one of the people, Donald Trump, he says that if he's elected, there will be no CBDC in the United States, right? So that goes into privacy, right? And there's two sides of privacy. One is the surveillance side, right? And one is the asset aggregation or segregation side, right? It could be, having a CBDC could have a benefit, right? How do you build this privacy economy, and also not step over the line to be surveillant of others? How can you do it in such a way that benefits everybody?
Yeah, I think it's a good question. I think what we need to continue doing is just keep giving, our users the tools to, one, understand privacy, educate them on it, and make sure that they have those tools to, as much privacy preserving tools as possible, where everything is fully in control, and they can say, hey, well, I'm comfortable sharing X, I'm comfortable sharing Y, I want to do this or that, but I'm own it, and I'm in full control of it. So I think it kind of comes down to us keep pushing out Galxe protocol, coming out with great incredible features where these users have as much control as possible. And in terms of surveillance, we do what we can to kind of combat that and push out things that make users feel comfortable, when using Galxe, and in control of their data. So I think that's my answer to that. But yeah, I think education is really important. And I think we have a responsibility to protect our users and make sure that they're educated on all these different great things, and how they can take care of themselves and take care of their privacy.
They say that crypto has a user acceptance problem, but it seems like you're solving that.
Absolutely, that's what we're striving for.
Awesome. I like it. I'm really interested to see what once you're fully built at it and working well, you are fully but I'm looking to forward to seeing what comes down the pipe from you guys. Yeah. So I want to thank you very much for your time today. I enjoyed speaking with you and learning about your company. And I have one last question.
Absolutely.
And that's how can people find out more information about you, about Galxe? How can they become a user?
Absolutely.
How can they do that?
You can find us on Twitter or X, at Galxe. I think at Galxe handle. You can find us at Galxe.com, and the way you spell Galxe is GALXE. .com. And basically, like we discussed earlier, we discovered our own platform. All you need to do is just connect your wallet, and then you can just browse and explore blockchain's best applications. We have 15 million unique users. We have over 4,300 plus Web3 brands. So there's a lot of amazing loyalty programs to learn about, a lot of amazing loyalty programs to engage in. Yeah, and that would be the best way to find out about Galxe. We always have new campaigns running, a variety of different campaigns from many different sectors within the industry. So it's definitely something that you don't want to miss, and absolutely something that you should check out ASAP.
Awesome. Thank you very much for your time today.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for having me.